welcome back to the Chronic Chronicles, the podcast where we get into the messy, beautiful, and often misunderstood world of chronic illness. I'm your host, Lexi, and today's episode is one I've been really looking forward to sharing with you. I'm joined by Charlie, a chronic illness warrior who lives with MALS, SMAS, and a few other conditions that affect their day-to-day life in incredibly complex ways. Charlie opens up about what it's like navigating multiple diagnoses, the emotional roller coaster of being dismissed, and how they found strength and community through it all. Whether you've heard of these syndromes or not, Charlie's story is a really good one to tune into. Let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Charlie. I'm from Vancouver, Washington, and my main diagnoses are Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, median Arcuate Ligament Syndrome, superior Mesenteric Artery Syndrome, and renal nutcracker syndrome.
Nice. We got a complex one.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So,
Yeah. I know today we're going to focus mostly on MALS, but we can talk more about like anything, like any of your diagnoses if you want to. I just have never had anyone on the podcast with MALS, so I'm like, okay, this is a cool opportunity to talk more about it. Can you
mhm.
tell us like what it is for just a definition?
Yes. So, MALS stands for median Arcuate Ligament Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And so where's my whiteboard marker? Basically, it's a condition that cuts off blood flow to your stomach, your pancreas. It can affect the blood flow to your liver, to your small intestine, even. So you have a big artery that comes down from your heart called your abdominal aorta.
Mm-hmm.
And hold on, let me draw this out really quick. So this is your abdominal aorta right here. This comes down from your heart and it feeds blood to lots of things in your body. And then this is your celiac artery. So this feeds blood to your stomach, pancreas, lots of other things. And then there is a ligament that sits right here. And this is the median arcuate ligament. And then your diaphragm is up here.
Yeah.
So most people, this ligament just basically anchors the abdominal aorta to your spine.
Hmm.
And so when somebody has MALS, this ligament sits right here.
Mm.
And instead of the artery shooting out like this and being really open, it curls up like
Ooh.
this. And this is called a J hook.
Okay.
So a J hook is really like that is you can see that pretty easily on a CT scan if you look at the CT scan from the side and you know where this celiac artery is. That J hook is going to indicate some sort of stenosis or compression, something like that. And around the celiac artery here,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of nerves too. So not only is food sitting in your stomach for longer, because your stomach's a muscle and it
Mm-hmm.
needs blood to move. So when there's a lack of blood flow, your stomach doesn't work correctly. And then you have all of these nerves that are like super angry. Um, and that is essentially what MALS is. 32% of the world's population is born with this anatomy, but 1% of that 32% actually has MALS. So that is why it's so like GI doctors don't believe in it because there's a large amount of people that have the anatomy and are okay. That can be similar with Nutcracker as well. Not as many people have
Mm-hmm.
the anatomy and are don't experience symptoms.
Yeah. So what are some symptoms that you have like with it? Like so people can have the anatomy but be completely asymptomatic, but
Mhm.
like you are symptomatic. So what do those symptoms look like?
So for me, I started this is a weird one, but I had a really hard time burping.
Hmm.
So I would get a lot of gas caught in my stomach and I would have a hard time burping. I when I would eat or drink, I would have pain probably 30 seconds after I would eat or drink anything. And
Yeah.
it was the best way I could describe the pain is like, when you have like that gnawing hunger, like, and
Yeah.
it's like painful hunger. It's like that on steroids, but right like under your, like right below your sternum.
Yeah.
So it can make it hard to breathe. I got in the habit of holding my breath because when you hold your breath, it can help release the compression a little bit. And so that is something I still struggle with is holding my breath. And I get talked to about that in the hospital because my respiration rate, whatever. Especially when I was laying down, before I had any of my vascular compression surgeries, I could not lay down flat on my back. Even if
Mm.
I was propped up, like I had to lay on my side or my stomach, I can lay on my back now for the most part. Um, but yeah, so I held my breath a lot. Think of what else. I lost because I was dealing with a lot of pain, I avoided eating, which is
Mhm.
really common, and I lost a lot of weight. The really unfortunate thing about my case is I also got started on anxiety or ADHD medication when I was first
Yeah.
getting diagnosed with MALS,
Yeah.
and I got put on instant release Adderall. I didn't
Ugh.
know anything about ADHD medication. My parents are not involved in my healthcare
Yeah.
at all.
So you have no
Um,
appetite at all.
yeah, and it was a wild ride. So I had no appetite at all. I was losing a bunch of weight. Like I just looked really bad. I got really malnourished. I had to be put on a feeding tube. That's pretty common. It's not always the case. Like if you get
Mhm.
diagnosed with MALS, you're not immediately gonna get a feeding tube. Same way with gastroparesis. Like there's a lot of different ways to manage it. Yeah, I really struggled with getting comfortable, sleeping, eating, drinking anything. Oh, when I would hiccup, that hurt really, really bad. And like
Ugh.
right in that epigastric area, it felt like somebody was knocking the wind out of me. Like that's the best way I could describe
Oh,
hiccups,
awful.
which is
Yeah.
like right. And so I'd be out in public and I try to hold my breath and I would get dizzy and I'm just like, oh, surprisingly, a lot of people throw up with mouths. I
Hmm.
did not throw up a lot with MALS. It's SMAS that has kind of like caused that for me.
I guess I do have to ask a little bit about your other conditions too. So
No,
what
you're good.
did you get diagnosed with first?
So I actually was a neuro patient first.
Mm.
I have Chiari, which my mom has. So Chiari malformation, basically the back part of your brain like hangs down a little bit past your skull.
Oh.
Um, and so it causes a lot of like pressure, headaches in the back and
Yeah.
kind of like down your neck and into your shoulders. So we knew that I had that. I got diagnosed with that when I was in seventh grade. And then when I was 16, I started getting really bad migraines. And it was shortly after first round of quarantine. This was like April of 2020, I think. And I wasn't able to attend classes. I wasn't able to sleep. I wasn't able to like do anything really. I was not functioning.
Hmm.
And I like woke up one day and I couldn't see like my peripheral out of my left eye, no peripheral vision. And I was like, oh, okay. So I
That's
told my
scary.
mom, right? And I was like, oh, okay. Hey, mom, I need to go to the optometrist. And she was like, okay, like I'll see if they can get you in sometime. And I was like, no, like we need to go tomorrow. Like I
Yeah.
will sit in the office until they figure it out. I went in there by myself and the optometrist looked in the back of my eye and he like sighed and pulled back and was like, I think you have a brain tumor. I'm going to send you for an MRI. And I was like, I'm sorry. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning. I don't, what?
We're like,
So
sorry? Like,
So I had an emergency MRI and there was no tumor, which was good. So then I was sent down to Dornbecker and I had my first spinal tap and my intracranial pressure, like the pressure in my brain was supposed to be
mhm.
around 19 and 20 and I was at 34. So when you have that much pressure in your brain, it crushes the nerves, your optic nerves from your eyes to your
Yeah.
brain and you could go blind. And so that was like the first big thing. And then August of 2020, I had a really bad relapse in headaches, had another MRI, and I had like full-blown brain lesions in the middle of my brain. I have
Oh
two
my
big
God.
ones in the front that reach from my frontal all the way back to my occipital. Is that how you say it? And I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
two big ones in the back. And so then I got hospitalized a bunch. I was put on prednisone. I was on prednisone and one other steroid for 8 months. That was a long
Uh,
ride.
that's so
Um,
rough. Even like I get like chronic sinus infections, so and like
mhm.
ear infections and stuff. And even prednisone for like short term, I am like an angry gremlin. Like,
Yeah, it makes people tweak.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
genuinely, that was the first part of things, and I was like, okay, whatever, I can manage this kind of thing. I got hospitalized once before my junior year, and then I was hospitalized 4 times during my junior year. And then I didn't get put on a feeding tube until my senior year. So when you're on prednisone for that long, you gain a lot of weight. Like,
yeah,
that's just what happens. So I gained a large amount of weight, and that's fine. But prednisone, like steroid weight, is really, that doesn't come off very easily. And so, and I wasn't in sports, I wasn't, hiking a bunch, I wasn't really doing a ton. I was
yeah.
just going to school, and the weight just started falling off of me. Like, I mean, I lost probably 40 pounds in 2 months, and I was
Oh
like,
my
whoa,
God.
okay. It was bad. It literally just fell off of me. And I like kept meeting with my GI doctors, kept meeting with my nutritionist, and I was like, hey, I really think that something is wrong. Like, I'm not, this is not working for me. And um I had a CT scan, an abdominal CT, where I did drink a bunch of contrast. It was really disgusting.
Yeah,
And I was sitting in an environmental science class when the report popped up in my chart, and it said that there was a compression on the celiac artery. And I was like, I had known people online that had MALS, and I was like, okay, I know exactly what this is. So I went home, I did a bunch of research. For me, I'm a very visual and tactile learner, so that's why I like to draw out anatomy, because I will
yeah,
just sit and look at scans and pick out. I'm like, okay, so this is the liver, this is this. Like, I love doing stuff like that. I really would love to pursue a career in nursing or radiology somewhere in that
yeah.
realm.
Radiology would
Um,
be, yeah, like a good
yeah,
fit for sure.
I love that stuff. But I poured over scans. I did all my research. Like, I read through medical papers, and I
Mhm.
brought it into my uh my GI doctor, and I was 17. I was sitting in there by myself, and I was like, hey, I really think that this is MALS. And she was like, oh, that's not real. So I whipped out all my stuff. I brought this big binder or
Yeah,
whatever, and I was like, okay, well, here's all the reasons that I think it's this. I would like you to order a CT with IV contrast, with MALS breathing protocols, celiac and mesenteric artery Doppler ultrasound, and a
yeah,
celiac plexus block. And if you don't order those, then I would like you to write that in the chart that you're not going to do that, and
yeah.
I will find another doctor.
Oh my God,
And
I'm
she,
so, I love you for that. You're amazing.
that's
17-year-old Charlie is like, yeah.
I was like gloves off, ready to fight somebody. I was like, dude, I'm like, and that's part of the reason why I love sitting down with people. Have met several people in the chronic illness community for coffee to just talk them through stuff like this, because it's
Yeah.
hard
It is hard.
and it's complicated. It just, vascular compression syndromes are really tough. I had my CT, and I had my Doppler ultrasound, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, you're right." And then basically hot potatoed me off to the vascular surgeons. They were like,
Okay.
"Oh, we can't get you in for, I don't know, it was like 4 months or something." And I was like, "Okay." So I just continued to go to school. And I think this was December of my senior year. So I play music, and I have since I was little. Like, I play Irish fiddle music and bluegrass and things like that.
Ooh.
So I did orchestra growing up,
Mhm.
and I went to like a liberal arts middle and high school. I'd been preparing we were doing like a Tangled medley or something, and there
Yeah.
was like a fun Irish fiddly part at the beginning that was given to me as a solo. So I was really focused on that. Once I had gotten that done and we completed that concert, I went and I got admitted to the hospital that night because I was in the early stages of heart failure because I was so malnourished.
Ah,
And I got I was sitting with my like NJ tube in, formula running. I'm connected to peripheral IV nutrition. And I had a vascular surgeon come in and tell me like, oh, this is an elective surgery. Like you're gonna have to wait probably 6 months to get the surgery done. Like it's really not that big of a deal. Like as I'm like 17, all my friends are getting off for Christmas break and
yeah.
I'm sitting in
Like
a hospital
dying,
bed. Yeah, I was
literally.
like, oh, okay.
Great.
This Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I had my first MALS surgery in March of 2022, 2 days before I turned 18.
Hmm.
My surgeon was horrible. She was absolutely horrible. She was a general surgeon that just decided that she wanted to pick up like vascular compression surgery. It's like, oh, that'd be, fun hobby. Like, medical professionals devote their entire career to one vascular compression syndrome. So she did my MALS surgery laparoscopically,
Hmm.
and they cut the mal and everything, like the ligament that was squishing my celiac artery, but nicked my abdominal aorta. So that is the largest fucking
Yeah, like that's a
artery in
big
your
deal.
body.
Yeah.
She like after I got in the PACU, I remember waking up and there was like this purple surgical marker like from my sternum all the way down to my belly button and two on the side. And I was like, what is going on? Like people are running around me and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. And they were like, oh, like you're bleeding internally, like you have to go back into surgery. And I was like, what do you mean? And then my parents are like, where the hell is your surgeon? And she comes like waltzing around the corner and she's like, what do you need? Like so rude. And my parents are like, what is going on? Like what happened?
Yeah.
It's not in the surgery. No, it's not in the surgical report. It's not there's no trace of like her huge fuck up. And she tried to send me home that night. And I was like, I'm not going home. Like,
Yeah.
and so I had that done and I had a surgical feeding tube placed. And then a month later, my symptoms came back and I went back to my surgeon and I was like, hey, I know that it's a little early, but I think that this is back. And she was like, no, my surgery worked. I think you have gastroparesis. And I didn't have gastroparesis until summer of 2023. And this is like April of 2022.
Yeah.
I just tried to suck it up. And then my surgical feeding tube was causing a lot of issues, and she was in charge of that and not dealing with it. And so I basically gave the ultimatum. I was like, okay, either you're gonna fix it or I'm gonna pull it out. And they
Yeah.
went, well, you're eating my mouth a little bit, so pull it out. And I was like, okay, so I did. And it was a horrible mistake. It was like it genuinely that was like the tipping point for a like my health going downhill because my MALS was so severe. I, avoided eating all of the things because I was still dealing with MALS and I was avoiding eating. I lost weight really rapidly. I was living in Las Vegas at this time and I was working 45-hour weeks and I
Mm.
was like averaging 7-8 miles a day walking.
Oh
Like
my
I
gosh.
really was just go, go, go. Like I just was not thinking about my health or anything. Like I just wanted some normalcy, I think. Like I
Mhm.
was like, okay, I moved from my hometown to Las Vegas. Nobody knows I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna live life and be 19 and I hi babe. Um, and it was like it came back and bit me in the butt.
Hmm.
Um, because I got hospitalized in June of 2023. I was in the hospital for 23 days.
Gosh.
I had open surgery to place another feeding tube. That was a horrible mistake because feeding tubes can be placed laparoscopically. Like,
Yeah.
and I was stuck with an old surgeon who like didn't give me any other choice. Um, and then I got put on TPN for the first time. I got put on IV nutrition because I had been without adequate nutrition for so long. And then all of a sudden I was receiving adequate nutrition. I went through something called refeeding syndrome.
Mm.
And that's basically where your electrolytes get super out of whack and
Wow.
it can kill you. You got to be really careful with it. And my team was not. And I essentially I felt like I had the flu on steroids,
Ugh.
and I just shook, and like it was just bad. It was not good.
Yeah.
Um,
Like that would be completely awful. I even get this is not similar at all, but my electrolytes are like fucked up and I get nauseous if I just drink plain water. Like
mhm.
I'm like so my doctor's like you have to drink like electrolyte packets or put like salt and lemon in your water because my like on my blood levels or whatever. Um, why are words so hard for me right now? My blood
Oh,
draws.
there you go.
Yeah, I'm like blood levels, whatever they are. My electrolytes are messed up. So she's like, yeah, it makes sense that you're getting like nauseous and dizzy. You don't have any electrolytes. So,
Yeah.
like, great. So I feel like even that like little aspect of it, I can't imagine that would be awful, like dealing with that.
Yeah. Having really anything out of whack in your body, it really screws you up. So,
Hmm.
um, after that, I moved home and I was really focused on like getting my SMAS to go away. So, superior mesenteric artery syndrome, you can have surgery for it, and
Hmm.
sometimes it will go away with weight gain. So, under, can you see?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Under the celiac artery right here, there's another artery called the superior mesenteric artery.
Hmm.
And there's a little fat pad right here that holds it open because right here, your renal vein to your left kidney runs
Hmm.
through there. And then you have a piece of your small intestine that runs under there.
Ooh.
When you, drawing looks very silly. When when you lose weight really rapidly, this fat pad can go away.
Mm.
And then the artery clamps down on
Oh yeah, so it's like
everything
lower.
like that. And then it'll cut off blood flow to your kidney. And then it basically causes a bowel obstruction in your
Whoa.
small intestine if it gets bad enough.
Yeah.
So the mortality rate, that's why the mortality rate is 33% with SMAS. It's
Oh
like,
my God.
it's, yeah,
Ugh.
it's really not good.
Okay.
But I was really focused on trying to get that to go away. And sometimes if you gain enough weight, that fat pad will come back and the artery will open up. And I was able to do that. So I,
Can they can they put like a stent in, like surgically to like push it up or like, I don't know.
I would like the surgeries for SMAS are really extensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like literally rearranging your intestines, extensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would
Mhm.
think there's like a place
I don't know, but maybe
bigger
not
that you
because
could put there.
like where it is, I don't know like if a stent would even like everything there moves a lot. Like I don't know if it would like stay in the right place.
Yeah,
Interesting. I don't know.
that's an interesting take on that though. I don't even think of that.
I I'll have to like look into it more, but I mean there's got to be like that would be like like a stent is normally like an easier procedure, so there's a reason that like they're not doing it. Right? Like interesting. Okay. So what now? Did you get surgery for that or how did you try to
So I really focused on eating by mouth, even though it was really painful for me and I was throwing up.
Yeah.
I still pushed myself to do that, and then I was really diligent with my TPN. I was able to switch over to tube feeds, and that also helped me gain weight. By January of 2024, my SMAS like officially was gone. I had a barium swallow study, which basically you sit under a big CT machine and drink gross
Yeah.
stuff, and you can like watch it go through. So things were moving through very nicely. So I was
Good.
like, okay, awesome. So January 2024, I flew out to Wisconsin and I had a renal auto transplant out there to correct my nutcracker syndrome. And that
Hmm.
is off the table now, which I'm very thankful for. That was a very big surgery.
Yeah.
But it worked.
That's where I went to
Um,
grad school. I
mhm.
went to Wisconsin. So I had
It's
classes in
so
that hospital.
it's so pretty. I love that hospital.
Yeah. Did you get to
Um,
explore like Madison at all?
a little bit. I was in the hospital for 16 days after my surgery.
Yeah.
So I got to go to, oh, what is it? There's like a an indoor plant
Yeah.
place like
Yeah.
where they had a bunch of orchids when I was
Mm.
there.
Yeah. Madison is
Um,
really cute. Like that
mhm,
town. When I went to grad school there, I lived like right downtown. So I would most days like walk to class and it's a pretty place for sure.
mhm.
The rest of Wisconsin is meh, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Madison's really
but
pretty.
Madison's really pretty.
Yeah.
That's an intense surgery though, like 16 days after.
Yeah. Most people are out in like 5 to 7, but I really had a hard time with it. I mean,
Hmm.
my with my SMAS being gone, that was really awesome, but my nutcracker was also really severe. I mean, if you look at pictures of me before my nutcracker surgery, I'm gray. Like
Oh,
the Christmas before my nutcracker surgery, I'm literally gray. Like it's not good.
wow.
Um, and so even like the night of surgery, I had more color in my face than I did the morning of, which
Yeah.
was incredible. I was still on TPN through my auto transplant, and then I finally got off of TPN in June of 2024. So I got to do
Hmm.
lots of fun things over the summer, um, all of that stuff, and then I was still pursuing treatment for my MALS.
Hmm.
So I went and saw the vascular surgeon who was in on my first surgery and talked to him.
Yeah.
And he ordered another celiac plexus block, which is like a nerve block procedure where they take spinal tap needles and they'll go through your back and numb up the nerves in that area. And then you go home and you try and eat and you like log your pain. And so then that is like a diagnostic procedure to basically tell if surgery is going to work for you or not.
Yeah.
So I had my second celiac plexus block and it worked. And then I had an appointment with him a couple weeks later, but I got hospitalized. So I got hospitalized at the beginning of October and I
Hmm.
was there until the end of November.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So my second MALS surgery that I had on November 7th. After my first surgery, I didn't have a median arcuate ligament anymore,
Yeah.
but I still had really bad stenosis. My artery looked like this. It was really teeny right here. So basically what they did is they took a graft from my aorta up here and they built a
Hmm.
new artery.
Ooh.
So now it looks like this and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
They literally had to rebuild my artery. It was so scarred. Now, that's not a common thing with mouse. Like, I don't know of anybody else who's had a celiac artery bypass.
Interesting.
Uh, it's a big surgery.
Do you think that that happened because the first surgery was just like not great?
Sometimes the compression, like my compression was really bad, and sometimes the compression is so bad that the artery is just scarred. But
Yeah.
the issue with laparoscopic surgery is when you're in, like, when they cut the mal and everything, you can see the artery pop open a little bit, but it's like they miss stuff. So like with my
Yeah.
surgery, they thought they saw it pop open all the way and it didn't. So that is why I wanted open surgery. That's why if you talk to a lot of people who have mouths and haven't had surgery, that's why they pursue open surgery.
Got it.
Better visuals, and if something goes wrong, then
Yeah,
they
you're
can
already open.
tend to it. Yeah.
Yeah. You've just been through it, girlfriend. Like,
Yeah, it's been a long ride,
mhm.
definitely. It's been a long ride. I can confidently say that my MALS is gone.
That's
Like
good.
on post-op scans, based on the way that I'm eating, based
Yeah.
on my symptoms, I have a night and day difference. Like I thought that I felt better after my first surgery, and this is like 1,000 times better.
Wow. That's so good to hear, though. Okay, you're not on TPN anymore or anything like
I
that.
am
Are you
actually
on?
still. Yes.
Oh,
So I still like basically right now we're in like a transitional phase of things
okay.
because I have a history of having some really good weeks and then like really bad months.
Okay.
We are taking things really slow. So I'm still on TPN, but I'm also running tube feeds and then I'm eating a little bit by mouth. Yes, but my goal is to be off of TPN within the next 2 months, and I think that
Okay.
I'm gonna be able to pull it off. I just want my line out for summer, and
Yeah.
it's like I've had sepsis before, and thankfully it's like I do my own dressing changes, and so I'm in control of everything, and I know that I'm being sterile, and like
Mm-hmm.
it makes me feel a lot better, but still having
Yeah,
a
some
line in my heart is
it's
I'm
scary.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no matter what. Like I totally understand that. When I worked in dialysis, they had lines that we could put their dialysis into, like outside of a fistula.
Mhm,
So, but that was always like scary just because
mhm,
it goes into your heart. So you have very easy infection. Yeah, so we were always kind of like, because that's normally what they do first for dialysis, and then they'll do surgery to put a fistula in your arm or leg. But
mhm.
you're kind of on that, like the catheter for a little while, and we're like, get that out as soon as possible. And some people like want to stay on it because like you don't have to have needles put in 3 times a week. But then we're like, the risk totally out. I'm like, you will get used to the
Mhm.
needles. You do not
Yeah,
want an infection. So
and
yeah, I
also,
totally
like,
understand.
trying to shower,
Yeah, it's
like
not like an easy process. Like nothing about it is easy. So
mm-mm.
wow.
And, like, I'm a bath person. I love bubble baths, Epsom salt baths, all the
Hmm.
things, and so it's not relaxing. Like, I can't take a hot bath because I don't wanna sweat, so I take, like, lukewarm baths, which is
Uh,
fine. I
yeah,
still
but
get to
still
do
it's not
that.
great.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
the same. So,
So what does your life look like now? Like, do you have, I mean, I know you have EDS and you have like some other things going on, but do you feel like you can have like a normal routine? Like, what does your day look like?
right now, I'm working with a nanny agency,
Ooh,
essentially.
yeah,
I'm contracted through them basically,
yeah.
so I haven't found like a permanent spot, so I've just kind of been jumping around and watching kids
Hmm.
that need to be watched.
Yeah.
So things have been a little kind of up in the air. I really have been trying to get up around 9, just get myself back on a normal routine. Yeah, it's hard, especially after
Hmm.
being in the hospital for like 3 or 4 days. It's hard to adjust being home, but after being in the hospital for 2 months, like I genuinely, it took me a long, long time to adjust to being home
Yeah.
and just like not having my day structured around like, okay, meds are at this time and you got to do this at this time and this and this and this. And then all of a sudden I was like overwhelmed with the amount of free time I had. And at the same time, I didn't have like my brain was working, but my body, I
Hmm.
had could not keep up with me.
Yeah.
Now things are a lot better. I'm able to do a lot more physical things. I've been able to take Spencer out on hikes. I take him to the dog park a lot.
Aw.
Oh, I think a lot of people are worried that they can't live a normal life, and
Hmm.
especially um when medical devices come into the picture.
Yeah.
But and like I felt that way too. I was like, "Oh my God, like I'm never gonna get to do this and I'm never gonna go to be a kid or go to college or whatever." And I got like really down in the dumps about it. And sometimes you have to
Yeah.
do that. Like you just like have to feel those feelings. But I let it hold me back. And then I just woke up one day and I was like, this is stupid. Like, and I was like, why does that matter? Like, I get to have the opportunity to go out and experience things because of these medical devices.
Yeah.
I need to be thankful. Like I would not be here without them.
Mm-hmm.
So I have
That's a really good mindset. Yeah.
it took me a while to get there too. Like it really sucks.
Yeah.
Um, but I just that's the other thing, like the other part of like why I'm on social media and I want to do this as a job and I want to continue pursuing this is because I truly thought that my life was going to go nowhere. And there are days I still feel like that where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm never going to get to do this. And then a couple months later, I get to do that thing, like
Yeah.
I just, some, yeah,
Yeah.
it
I
takes
I
time, but
I completely understand where you're coming from. Granted, I'm not on any medical devices. I do have like endometriosis flares that like make it so that I can't leave the house or like I have to cancel plans.
yeah,
I can't do things. I've
it
like changed my career path
disrupts your
because
life.
yeah.
You get it. You understand. Like your chronic illness has disrupted your life. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
anybody who experiences that, like, understands.
Yeah, I may not have like spent, I mean, there were times where I have been admitted to the hospital for a couple, like in high school, I was in the hospital for like 6 days just because I was in a shit ton of pain, but they had no, like everything was coming back normal. And they're like,
Mhm.
well, they were like, so we can take out your appendix. And my mom's like, well, is there something wrong with it? And they were like, well, no, we don't know. And my mom, I'm like, what? So
We'll just do it for fun.
yeah, they're like, but I did have a lot of pain like in that area. But now, like my endo specialist is like pretty sure that I just have endo lesions like around there. But no,
Mhm.
like that's a whole nother thing. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Spicy, creators of the cutest and most effective, at least I think most effective, heat patches for period pain and pelvic pain. You already know I deal with endo and chronic pelvic pain, and I don't go anywhere without a few spicy heat patches in my bag. They're thin, long lasting, and actually stay put. You can use code Chronic Chronicles to get a discount off your order at getspicy.com and give your cramps a little spice back. But anyways, it has like definitely disrupted my life and like what I wanted, and it's like really hard because there are days where like I'm totally fine and I feel like I can do like anything. And then I'm like, well, why can't I have that life? And I'm like, why can't I go to medical school? Why can't I do all this stuff? And then I have a really bad day and I'm like, this is why. Like, and it's everything's invisible, like for me. So like it's
Mhm.
hard for me to sometimes I like my brain tells me that it's not real. Like there's just so much that goes into it. It's hard
Mhm.
to live life like this.
Yeah. My brain, like, I'll have good days, and I'm like, dude, I'm faking. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, are
and
we
I'm
real?
someone with like medical devices. Like
Yeah,
like the imposter syndrome that you experience with chronic illness is like insane.
yeah, I know. It's so crazy. So you have been doing a lot on social media for like advocacy and education. How has being part of the chronic illness community online impacted your journey?
It's given me hope, I think. It's it's given me a lot of hope because so I originally started my chronic illness Instagram as a project my junior year.
Mm,
And so I've been doing it since I was 17
yeah,
and I'm 21 now. It just started out as a blog essentially and just like educating people about being young and being like a patient and
yeah.
how that affects your life and things like that. I walked away from it for a while and I came back to it after my sister went to Scotland. She is going to school in Scotland, but it was a big change for me and I needed something to focus on.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, oh my God, she's playing basketball over there. She's
Amazing.
so fucking cool, bro. Like, very proud of her. I had I was at a like a chronic illness meetup in September, the event that you
Yeah,
guys put on. Yeah.
yeah.
And we were sitting in a circle like just talking about stuff, and there was a young girl that raised her hand and was like, "Hey, does anybody have Nutcracker?" And I was like, "Oh my God, yeah, I do. Like I had surgery earlier this year." And she was like, "Can I talk to you?" And pulled me aside and was like, explained her story and where she was at and
Mhm.
just her next steps. And I was like, and she was like, "I don't know anybody with Nutcracker. Like I feel really
Oh,
alone." And I was like, "Okay, well, let's be buddies, just like let's be friends kind of thing."
yeah.
And it turned into like a little sibling, older sibling kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she ended up needing another surgery and went out to UW and had surgery with them.
Wow.
And she was like, she said, "Thank you so much for supporting me and my parents through this. Like you made it a lot less scary."
Oh,
And she was like you were exactly, what I needed during this time or something along those lines. And that just that like I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing this for because
yeah.
I needed someone to help, so to walk with me through this. And
Yeah.
like I had people, but I didn't have people who like understood.
Yeah. Who like really, really get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so being able to do that for multiple people is something that that brings me joy. Like
Yeah.
like I said, I want to go into healthcare, and if I don't get to go into nursing, I would love to go into radiology, but I just want to help people. Like I just want to be
Yeah.
helpful, and social media is a way for me to
Yeah.
do that. And then the other reason why I'm so passionate about educating is I wouldn't have known what MALS was if people didn't educate me
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
So there is a good chance that I would I could still be undiagnosed. I could have been sent to an eating disorder treatment facility. Like there are so many different things that could have happened to me that didn't because people advocated and
Yeah.
were, educating online. And I also had someone, well, actually when I was in the hospital, I posted a TikTok or something about SMAS.
Mm-hmm.
And someone DM'd me and was like, "Hey, I saw a TikTok about SMAS and I looked it up and everything because I've been in the hospital and my doctors don't know what's going on. We did a barium swallow study and I have SMAS." And they were like, I don't know where I would be if I didn't know, like if that video hadn't come across my For You
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like the like reach that social media has these days is just so like it can be life-changing. There's just yeah, there's like so many good things that can come from it and then also like it is hard to be in that space too. But like
yeah.
the amount of like good things that can come from just like talking about like your life and like what you're going through is so I mean that's like why I started the podcast, right? Because I'm like
Mhm.
I want more awareness on things. And even if like one person hears an episode and they're like, wow, that like really sounds like me, or like I'm going through the same thing, or I needed to hear something like that is so amazing to me. So I love
Mhm.
that so much. And even that you like met somebody at the event, like I love that so much. That's why I wanted to do community events. That's like everything that they're for. So I'm like, this is I love that. I love that so much.
Mhm.
Yay.
And the other thing is, so I don't have endometriosis personally,
Mhm.
and I didn't know. I knew like one of my friends from high school, her mom had endometriosis or something.
Yeah.
And so I was not well versed on the subject. And my partner, Anna,
Yeah.
started to have really bad period symptoms. And she's
Mhm.
had like bad periods since high school, but they started to get a lot worse.
Mhm.
And, she had been saying, like, yeah, I'm just having really bad cramps. And then she wasn't really straightforward with how bad it was getting until I like drove out one weekend and she was like, "Hey, like my period's gonna start this day." And I was like, "Okay, like I'll drive out to college and hang out with
Yeah.
you and whatever." 'cause nobody was going to be there. And I was like, oh my God, like something is going on. Like, I was like, this is not normal.
Mhm.
And I like, because of community events and because of community, I had somebody to turn to. Like, I had people to turn to and go, hey, like, this is really freaking me out because I'm normally the one to be sick and I can deal with that, but this is my person who's dealing with this. I
Yeah.
don't know what to do. And
And sometimes
so I,
you like need that outside perspective too, like
mhm,
as like Anna to understand that like, oh, maybe like maybe this isn't normal for me to be in this much pain instead of just like fighting through it. So maybe she like
yeah,
needed that for you to like witness it and be like, You shouldn't be in this much pain," like type
yeah,
stuff. So, yeah.
we wouldn't have answers. Like
Hmm.
we went to her doctor's appointment and, we explained things very clearly. This
Hmm.
is, here are the symptoms, blah, blah, blah. And the first thing she said was like, have you ever heard of endometriosis? And
Hmm.
so we are able to get straight to the point instead of, you know,
Yeah.
waiting years for a diagnosis. And like, that is very, that means more to me, like the fact that the community was there to help my partner than it does
Yeah.
that like the community was there to help me.
Yeah.
Um,
Aw,
so yeah.
I love that. It's so important. I'm happy to be a part of it. And
Mhm.
it's just, that was like one of when I started the podcast. It's been almost a year, but when I started it, that was like a huge thing that I wanted to do. I was like, I want to host community events, like also selfishly for me, because I was just like, there are so many people that chronic illness is so isolating. And even
Mhm.
if we don't have the same chronic illness, like we're a bunch of people that truly understand what like pain feels like or what it feels like to not be heard or what it feels like to struggle with having like non-chronically ill friends because like we're not feeling good that day so people think that we're flaky or like it's s- so beneficial. Community is so important and it's so funny because I feel like when I was younger I thought that was like kind of stupid. I'm like whatever. I'm like community, okay. Like how much does it
Mhm.
really do for you? Like it's fine. And now that I've gotten older, I'm like, no, it's extreme. Like literally community is what like if you look at history, community has done everything for everything. Like we probably wouldn't be able to vote if we didn't like actually get together as a community and like push back against things. So I'm like, that's like my favorite part about the
Mhm.
podcast. I love it so much.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And it's
Um,
working too. Like
yeah.
that is like you're reaching people.
It's It's really cool. I love it so much. Are there any like big myths about MALS that you want to debunk really quick? I don't know if there are. Like with endometriosis, there's like all of these things are not true, but yeah.
When you have a Doppler ultrasound, they
Hmm.
look at the arteries and like the blood flow and everything. And in order to have MALS, you have to meet a certain criteria.
Hmm.
So basically, when you breathe out, like when you let all your air out, that's when your compression is going to be the worst.
Hmm.
And so they measure how much blood moves through the artery by centimeters per second. So if
Okay.
you have 200 centimeters per second or more moving through your celiac artery, then you have MALS.
Okay.
And so I might get shit on for this. But a lot of people think that when you have velocities of 200 or over, your celiac artery is compressed at 70%.
Hmm.
People think that that's like insane. They're like, oh my gosh, I have like a horrible case of MALS. Like MALS at any velocity or anything is painful.
Yeah.
It's a very painful condition.
Hmm.
Um, it peeves me when people like over exaggerate. You don't need to over exaggerate or prove anything to anybody. Just because somebody has different results and the same condition doesn't mean that you're less valid.
Yeah.
And that is something that is seen in the MALS community. There's lots of like, well, my velocities were this. Well, mine were this. Well, I have severe MALS because I'm at 70%. Okay, guys, we all have the same condition. It all sucks. How can we
Yeah,
support each other?
it's all
Like,
painful. Yeah, that's a big thing in the chronic illness community in general, which is really unfortunate because we have the greater community that is against us. We don't need to be against each other.
thank
And
you.
that's something that like I really also try it's hard to like balance that, but like trying to remind people that like we are not in competition. We
Hmm.
already have to push back against so much. Like just and that's the same thing with like endo stages. Like that's a big misconception is that
Oh
stage
my God,
4
yes.
is like more painful than stage 1 and like that's not true. Like that the stages are based off of like how far spread it is, but you can be in more pain at stage 1 than you are at stage 4. Or even like people in the endo community get upset if people are clinically diagnosed with endometriosis but haven't been like surgically diagnosed. And
Hmm.
like medically, technically speaking, yes, you have to for sure know 100% that you have endometriosis. You have to have surgery so that they can like look at it and send it to PATH. But in reality, if you are clinically diagnosed and you have symptoms and you just haven't wanted to get the surgery, I think you're just as valid as somebody like you have endometriosis, you have the symptoms. You're in a
Thank
lot of
you.
even if you eventually get the surgery and they say that they didn't find endometriosis, I don't think you're any less valid. I think that you were going
There's still
still
something there.
there's still something wrong. Also, like endometriosis is so I feel so obviously passionately about this. Endometriosis
Rightfully
is
so.
still like so early in like getting recognition that
Hmm.
I think we're gonna find at some point that like we're actually not like some of these like pathology samples that look like endometriosis, but we're getting back negative results. We're just not testing it properly. Like I think there are other types of endo that we just
Yeah.
haven't classified yet. So I'm like, you're still valid. Like you're in pain. You something is wrong. So
Yeah.
it's not a competition. Please, guys. Just love
That's
each
and
other.
that's the other thing. I know I spoke on this earlier, but like
Yeah.
if you get diagnosed with MALS, you're gonna have a feeding tube or you're gonna be on TPN
Hmm.
or like gastroparesis, same thing. Like everybody is different.
Yeah.
And there are people that I know who have like pretty severe cases of MALS who don't have surgery because you know what? Surgery fucking sucks.
Surgery is
Like,
awful. Like
yeah.
that's how I
And it's the
feel.
same thing with endo. Like,
Yeah.
if you're clinically diagnosed and you don't want to get surgery, or you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, you don't have
Yeah.
people to take care of you, like,
If you're managing your symptoms without surgery, like more power to you. Like it is not, surgery is not fun. It's not easy. Like there are obviously cases when maybe you should, or, you know, if you're in like debilitating pain that you can't do anything, then yeah, I would say maybe you should look at surgery. But like for me, I had my diagnostic surgery 7 years ago, and I have been trying to do anything in my power to not get surgery again because
hmm.
it's a horrible, like well, not for everybody, but for me, I had a really, really hard recovery. I
Hmm.
also don't do well with anesthesia. So like my like surgeons are like, we don't necessarily want to put you under. Like I have a hard time waking up. So like
Hmm.
risks, it's scary. So yeah, I
I
don't
think a lot of people forget that about surgery, that like there are risks.
there are like there are risks to every no matter how like easy or routine of a surgery it is, you are going in and cutting regardless. And there are risks to anything, even if you're getting your tonsils taken out. Like there are
Mhm.
risks. Wisdom teeth surgery. Um, so I never fault or like judge or feel like I'm in competition with somebody else with a chronic illness because I'm like, I'm not in your body. I don't know like exactly
Mhm.
what's going on. You have all the power to make the decision on what you want to do for your body, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
support you in that, and that's fine. Like that's what community is for. So yeah.
Yeah, people get too comfortable, I think, and feel the need to police other people. I'm just like, dude, do your own thing. And if you don't
Mhm.
like what other people are doing, you have the free will to walk away from it.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't have to be a part of it. I know. Like I said, social media can be really amazing and like game changing, life saving. You get information, but also like we got keyboard warriors, okay? We got people that just like think that because you're behind a screen, you're like entitled to say whatever you want. I'm
hmm
like, I'm like, let's remember that these are like real people. And if you wouldn't come up to me in person and say that, like maybe don't say it. Let's keep
yeah,
it to yourself. So,
yeah.
but
That's
yeah.
the other thing I think people forget is that like we're real people going
Hmm.
through things.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm being vulnerable online, but like that doesn't mean that you can like have something to say about everything.
yeah, or like be entitled to like
Yeah.
if I don't want to share something, I'm not gonna share it.
Yeah.
And I'm
I'm
not
allowed
gonna
to.
get online. I'm not gonna get online and be like, oh, like I'm not ready to talk about it. I'm just like, I'm not gonna share it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to. I don't owe it to anybody. Like,
Yeah.
I and I feel like a lot of people forget that. Like you don't need to share everything to
Yeah.
be like an active part of the community. Like,
Mhm.
because there are people that'll take advantage of you, unfortunately. There are people that'll
Yeah.
take advantage of you in any like
Hmm.
realm of your life, but like
Hmm.
unfortunately in this community there are people that will do that. And it's
Yeah.
horrible because like you said earlier, we have like the majority of like society pushing back on us. We should all be holding hands and holding strong and instead of
Yeah.
throwing punches at each other.
Yeah.
Like,
I totally agree. Where can people find you? Where can people follow you?
on Instagram, it's the Charlie Chronicles and
Yeah.
TikTok as well. I need to create a YouTube or something because I'm a
Yeah.
yapper, so I should do that.
You totally should. I will also link that in the show notes so that people can just click on it and come follow you.
Mhm.
But thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was so fun.
I had so much fun.
That wraps up another episode of the Chronic Chronicles. If you're listening and you connected with this conversation, please take a second to share it with a friend, tag us on Instagram at Chronic Chronicles Pod, or leave a review. It helps us more than you know. You are not alone in your pain, your search for answers, or your healing journey. We're in this together. Until next time, keep listening to your body, advocating for your care, and being ridiculously gentle with yourself. I'll see you next week on the Chronic Chronicles.